can speak to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, you tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building.
Still currently Farmer Poe until further notice.
Man, we just gonna keep it as Farmer. Or you know how people shorten their nicknames and their stage names, right? So you could just say further notice.
Further notice?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm further notice until,
Nah, you ain't even got to say that. Just be like, it's your boy, Further Notice. That's kind of a hard name. I'm going to go ahead and coin that.
Further notice.
Because further notice, man, means unpredictable. You don't know when or where it's going to happen, man. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to give you a different name, man.
We're going to flip that, too. We got other fur note.
Yup.
We could do, different things to that.
That sound like expensive garments, but all right. All right. How you been living, brother? How you doing, man?
I've been honestly the last 2 months. Financially, I've been good.
Well, that's great because I've been needing some bread.
You been baking?
That's crazy.
You was baking.
That's crazy how he was like, I don't think I got that much. That was the energy that came out. I don't think I got that much, but we straight.
Financially,
we straight.
I've been good because I actually
been managing your expenditures, but a little bit better, huh?
Budgeted, keeping to it, and then also so for my job we have steps. So
we mean steps
with my job with certain types of employments. Your job.
Okay. So you move up,
you get a raise. Basically,
you get like a certain percentage every time you move up and stuff like that.
I get July. Every July every June I get a raise. So the month of July I get my pay raise every year.
Every subscriber I'll get a raise. So y'all gotta do y'all part. You know what I'm saying? I even took the glasses off so y'all can see how serious I am.
Today he's not playing with you.
I ain't playing with y'all today, man.
Look me in my eyes. So I that happened. So I've been cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's good, man. That's always good, man.
No,
it's always good.
Stress really.
I think those are the small wins. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get through the day stress free when it seems like it's designed for you to go through stress. It just seems like you spend the whole day throughout the week dodging stress, or learning how to cope with it. So
and I've been working on my procrastination.
Okay,
and then also my son had his first therapy session.
Really?
Yeah, signed him up for with a therapist for.
Bro, I gotta commend you on that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because we always hear stories like in a past tense concept, like we did this, we tried that, everything is better, so to speak. But doing that, because I believe that we all need it to a certain degree.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's not a guarantee that it's gonna work for everybody, but. Or the certain traditional way, because a lot of times we see it all the time on social media, right? Somebody will be like, "Oh man, you need therapy," or "Seem like such and such need therapy." Well, therapy doesn't mean always sitting in front of somebody and telling them something. It can mean swimming, it can mean hiking, it can mean jogging, it can mean doing something that completely has your focus that you're interested in to kind of decompress your mind. So,
for sure.
So I applaud it. However, you guys are doing that for him. I applaud that, man. Respect for real.
Got that. We had an initial meeting last week, and then this week he and I both met the therapist.
Okay.
Through my insurance, through Kaiser, obviously, and. It was cool. It was just a regular one. The first one was kind of like a get information about. He met with them this session. He met with the therapist for like a quick 10-15 minutes before I spoke to them, and then he had like more of a in-depth one-on-one with them.
Okay.
So I had already talked to him about. I had already been considering it. So my daughter's mom had already. She was doing it for both of her children, and she had already kind of told me that maybe I should consider it. Spoke to some good friends of mine, like at work, that I kind of trust and we confide in and stuff. So they, said maybe you might want to think about it. And then he had a doctor's appointment. And from that doctor's appointment, they hit me up and said, they had asked him some intake questions, and they thought about considering therapy. So I was like, oh yeah, this is the time. So I signed him up. And yeah, it went
That's
well.
big, man.
Wasn't too bad. I'd already talked to him about what it was. This is like don't feel like there's something necessarily wrong with you. This is a person that is.
No, this is to keep you on track. It's to keep you. You know what I'm saying,
help
right?
Guide you. This is like a guide. Like if you're going through the forest and somebody who's been through the forest before or knows this landscape is kind of helping you to guide you and help you understand yourself and maybe help you figure out things that you may be feeling that you're not aware of or are aware of. So and this is all for the better. So.
I love it because
and confidentiality. I told him look, I'm not about to be. Every time I ask you how did it go,
that don't mean you got to tell me what was said.
I was talking about.
Right.
I'm gonna respect that. I would like for you.
Yeah. I would like to know, but you got to let me know at your own discretion.
Exactly.
Right. I applaud that too, because it took us as a culture a long time to get to this point. If you think about it, and it's like we often see content creators and we often see our peers and people that's B1s, pro-black, however you want to call it. They talk about the trauma, they talk about the past, and they talk about our strength. But mental health has been a highlight conversation. From my perspective, it seemed like it's been a highlight conversation for the past decade, where it's like, we got to talk about this, because when we were coming up, that was frowned upon. When we were coming up, it was like, oh man, they go to, and we don't even understand that therapy is no different than eating your vegetables, right? When you eat your vegetables, when you eat healthy fruits, when you eat healthy food, it does something to your body, and it actually does something to your mental. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like when people say reading is fundamental, and then Eddie Griffin broke it down and said reading is fun to mental. Your mind needs a different type of food. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I applaud that, because like I said, in our culture, as a culture, we've tried our best to go the other direction, because we never took the time to understand the concept, why it's important, and how much we can grow and benefit off of it in the future. And
me myself, knowing me for umpteenth years, I feel like I could get through things myself, and that could be a hindrance to my ability to kind of overcome, advance, or understand things that I might be experiencing, or subconscious or consciously. And then being my dad was a fucking therapist, and I kind of rejected that type of.
When you know the game a little bit, you feel like antics are being I remember 2 Chainz.
I don't need that shit. I can get through it myself.
2 Chainz did a Breakfast Club interview years ago, and because I believe he has his degree in psychology, and so he said it was a challenge for him to consider therapy, because he knows the different steps, different angles to get you to talk, and they know what they're supposed to say, what they're not supposed to say, how to pull information out of you. And so it kind of like jaded his concept on it, right? But I took that and I applied what he said in the opposite direction. For example, throughout my professional background, I've had a lot of safety culture training and all of this stuff, right? But I realized that the training that I got about safety culture in a work environment, I'm like, man, I can apply these same strategies and steps to problem solving. You see what I'm saying? So it really is perception and perspective that can have a negative impact or a positive impact. But I think most importantly for us as a culture is definitely needed, because it will help us understand a lot. And believe it or not, I don't know if you knew this, before me and the wife got married, we did marriage counseling, premarital counseling.
Not just through the church.
Yeah, no, not just through the church. It was on a spiritual level where we had to pay, but it was not like, oh, we're gonna go to this church where the pastor knows me. And no, it was an unbiased, and I'm glad we did that. And sometimes I think it's necessary to continue doing that, even if it's like once a month, or, you know, just having that reset, because we get so wrapped up in the day-to-day responsibilities and tasks that sometimes we think about ourselves last.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
see what I'm saying? And I think that the more we do that as a people, the better off we'll be, the better way we'll problem solve, the better way we'll feel comfortable about who we are, and regardless of what people may think of us. So,
And you know me, you've known me kind of like in different parts of my life where I was not as forthcoming with just opening up to people.
oh yeah, you were safe.
So
Sure.
for sure, definitely, it's lock and key with me. It's locked away. But I think just dealing with coming out of my relationship with my son's mom, I kind of became more open with like just expressing and talking to people, and like so much so that sometimes I tell people more than like talk more, and sometimes I over talk now, to where I'm like so much more comfortable with just talking and expressing the things that I go through, that is like, I like it.
Well, you know what it is that you probably started to understand? It ain't just you.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I pick what I want to talk about, with who I want to talk about, or what I want to talk about, and with whom I want to do that with. Because when you have if you're lucky enough and privileged enough to have people that you can trust and confide into, you will start to understand the more you express what you've dealt with or what you're dealing with, and then they have a response of, I understand, because like, damn, okay, I'm not alone, I'm not by myself. You know what I'm saying?
And it comes with some confidence too.
Yeah,
It's like,
and different perspective of like, you know what, I never thought about looking at the situation like this, because I find myself doing that when I'm talking to people and they tell me about a situation or a scenario, because I like to talk and I like to talk to different people in my life. I can say, I think I do believe I'm good at facilitating certain individuals around each other based off what I know about the two sides.
Right.
I could be like, y'all two would mesh well because of A, B, C, D, whether that's y'all experienced the same thing and have the same interests because of communicating and talking and confiding into each other. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I definitely encourage that, because, you know, we live in a time where ghosting is popular and competition is popular, and I don't trust like if I made a post right now about, I don't trust nobody, I just do it myself, I know it's gonna get likes and attention.
I feel the same way,
Yeah.
bruh. I don't be
Bro,
trusting
you spitting right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But really what it is I'm not speaking to you with wisdom. I'm just speaking to you through trauma, and that woke up the trauma that you probably wasn't even thinking about prior to me saying it. You see what I'm saying? So having a healthy relationship with somebody, and then sharing experiences that are similar, that could be therapy within itself.
Yeah, because every rapper, I mean, not every rapper, but we see a lot of rappers, they say, man, they be in a video and it'd be like 15, 20 niggas.
Yeah.
And they say, man, I don't trust nobody. Like, and I'd be in the video.
One of your partners is holding your money.
Yeah, I don't trust no nigga. And he'd be like, what?
The next line be, I call my boy Whoopty Whoop to handle that. You trust him to handle that, but you don't trust him at all.
Yeah, shit is contradictory.
Rap is confusing if you're trying to find a straight path on what to do. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
There's a lot of
look
trauma.
at it as entertainment.
I don't
Straight
trust
up.
niggas around. I seen Lil Durk said he don't let people come to his house.
Yeah, Vince Staples said the same thing. I don't want nobody come to my house.
And I was like,
why you get that big ass house?
so you don't let, so you got friends, but you don't trust them enough to come to your house. No, Durk was saying it more of, he don't let people come around his family, his wife and his girl. I'm like, damn. So
Birthday
like,
parties be naked.
So, but yeah, it's a lot of trauma they dealing with, because it's like, so you kick it with them to do other shit, but you don't trust them enough to be around your family. Like, if I don't trust you in one aspect of life, I don't fuck with you.
Yeah, straight up.
There's no way that I'm like not trusting you around my family, girl, in my house, whatever. If I don't trust you in one aspect of life, I don't fuck with you.
I'm gonna keep it real. I definitely understand boundaries, y'all.
Yeah.
But to flat out not trust people and celebrate it, I'm just letting you know it's depressing and it's not cool.
Yeah, I'm not
because but the other thing too is the controversy, contradiction, and hypocrisy behind it.
Yeah.
Because we'll say I don't trust nobody around my family, and then go order some food.
Yeah, and I don't.
You trust the hands that prepare some food that you are about to put in your body, but you don't trust somebody that you've known. Like, we got to get our priorities straight. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I don't even know of anybody that I don't trust. So that's a crazy concept for me to even think about. But I don't not trust people that I have associations with.
Like I said, I got boundaries. Like, I trust my people, but there's certain things I don't trust certain people with. Not because we use that word trust as in you're gonna do treason. Yeah. You're gonna stab me in my back. Yeah. Nah, trust can have levels to it, right? So, for example, if I know you like watermelon and strawberries and grapes and stuff like that, I'm not gonna trust you to make the fruit salad during the cookout. You
finna be picking out the
food, man. If you don't wash your hands, I don't trust that you took me in consideration before you made a loaf of bread. You understand? But that don't mean I don't trust you as a human being. Where if I tell you to keep a secret, you won't. And a lot of people, they use that word as a broad statement for everything.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because there are boundaries to trust. I'm not going to trust the plumber to fix my electricity in my house.
For sure.
I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? So it's levels to it, and it's kind of interesting that we're on that frequency, because one of the topics was it's something that I feel like should have been addressed a long time ago, kind of like how we used to do our format, but black men's self-worth. And I think there's some blurred lines with more black men understanding their value to society and to their culture that's getting mixed in with being sassy or feminine or not tolerating things. And I wanted to talk about that. And I already know, me and you, we really, really be into the culture conversations. So, starting out with, like, for example, what we're doing right now, we podcast.
Right.
And now that a lot of us men, and I'm not saying every podcast is healthy or right, but the point that I'm making is now there is a space for men. You used to just be confined to the barbershop. And that could be a short trip or a long trip. And
the barbershop conversations was always to a certain extent.
Surface level. Sports, women, back in the day.
You're not revealing your deepest, darkest thoughts or your
real opinion on certain things.
And you're not being vulnerable.
Right. Absolutely.
For sure.
So, with us having these spaces now, I'm starting to see, I don't want to say the shift, but more of the goalposts being moved on what's defining us and things of that nature. For example, you've seen the crazy memes where it's like, I won't date guys that have the following: a podcast, a rap career, blah, 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 blah. And I think that, we're just in a position where we could finally speak up, because you got to think, from young adolescent ages to where we are now, we've seen daytime TV, we've seen soap operas where 9 times out of 10, the man or men were the antagonists, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen plenty of things on TV where it was like all men are dogs.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, as a kid. You're seeing this as a kid.
That was a general consensus. That men and women both agreed upon.
So I've always looked at it like this. When I would see that on TV, all men are dogs, right? And then being around your uncles, your older brother or your daddy telling you you're a man, when you combine the two, it's like, so I'm a dog? Because they raising me and telling me I'm a man. Be a man about it when you scrape your knee. But then I'm a dog. You know what I mean? So now that we have these spaces where men can speak up, I was going to actually ask you, as we get into this conversation, why do you think, or why do you believe you see so many women calling men that are being more vulnerable or speaking up more sassy or soft or feminine? I mean, you even have men saying like, oh man, the men are more feminine now. And I determine a man being feminine off of a different grading scale than what I see everybody else defining as feminine.
Yeah, it's a weird time that we're in, and it's kind of interesting because obviously I'm not tapped into like the white algorithm, so I don't know the conversations that they're having between their counterparts. But it is kind of odd that, you know, we're in a time where women, and it's different. So, you know, you'll have someone who has an opinion about gender, about men and women relationships.
Right.
And then we'll kind of say, well, y'all, based on this person's opinion,
right,
we'll say y'all, and that might not have been that person's, how do I say it? Like, say this person is saying that a vulnerable man is soft or whatever, and then we'll say, well, y'all black women wanted this and this and that. And it's like, generalizing. We're in a time where we're generalizing one person's opinion and attaching it to the group. The group. Yeah. And then we're in a time where it's been more opinions about the vulnerability of black men, and it seems like I won't say neither side, but I don't know if they know what they want. I'm not sure that they know what they want, because I dealt with that for sure, where I was told that I wasn't vulnerable, and I felt that way. It was a new relationship, and I was attempting to be more expressive. I was super comfortable just talking. Yeah. But I was told that I wasn't being vulnerable, and it took.
They basically said, "You won't tell me your password."
I started to believe it.
Yeah.
Because I knew who I was before. Right. So I knew I was still trying to like learn to navigate and become advance and become more vulnerable, not for whomever I was with, but for myself. Right. And then one day the light bulb went off, and I was like, I think I am vulnerable. I laugh, I cry, I get mad, I'm sad.
You'll also put yourself in a position, right, where, because I think this takes somebody that has to, I think in order to be vulnerable, you have to have humility. Yeah. And I've on numbers of occasions watched you allow truth that could be comedy at the expense of your experience. Right? So like, if we cracking on you or we make a joke, whatever, you like, man, whatever, that shit was funny. There has to be some vulnerability there to not be defensive about it. Yeah, or you might tell a story. I'm a defensive person. Yeah, but you might make or you might tell a story where something embarrassing happened to you. Right. That's vulnerable, because some people don't want anybody or the world to know that they have a soft texture behind this hard, tough exterior that they present to people. And that comes with my confidence, because I'm so confident in who I am and myself. Exactly. And I love myself so much that I can be vulnerable or express this or reveal this part or the story of mine and still be okay with who I am. I think a lot of maybe what these women who may have these opinions or contrasting opinions, I would like to know, had they grown up in a household with a mom and a dad. I don't believe, I'm trying to use that word better. I don't believe that a lot of them have. Because you would see, because the idea of who a man is or who they've created as a man in their minds, or what a man should be or who they should be, everyone's damn near raised with their mom. So you understand men. Even with dad in the house, you up under your mom a lot. Yeah. Yeah. But most boys and young black boys and black girls who grow up in households or single parents, you're mostly gonna be with the mom. So you kind of understand the different dynamics of how women express themselves, the strengths, maybe the so-called weaknesses, the vulnerability, and the things that they deal with. Right. Right. So a lot of women and young men don't grow up in households with men in the household consistently, like living in that house. Whether it's learning from them, whether it's half time with dad, half time with mom. Being the weekends, you don't get enough. 2 days or 3 days. Because before you know it, by the time you get into the rhythm, it shifts back into the way it normally is for your life. And that man isn't going to be as he might let things go that he might not let normally go If you had to deal with it full time.
If you had to deal with it full time, it's because that's just, you can kind of let shit slide. So I think a lot of women who have these opinions perhaps have never really lived with a man growing up as a child to understand the different dynamics of how men express themselves, because you can't hide from who you are when you're in the house.
Real talk. You can't hide from yourself no matter where you're at, because your mind is going to replay those experiences and those thoughts and those feelings all the time.
Yeah.
And I agree with that because, for example, I'll give you an example kind of like to complement what you just said about being around a man often or enough, right? When you hear so many men on the internet, right, say that at the end of the day, that's cool if you have a career, that's cool if you have a degree, but we don't care about your money, keyword your, a lot of women would push back and be like, yeah, you do, and this, that, and the other. But I think the reason why they don't understand that is because if they were around men who may have had or have a successful woman in their life, you would be able to see what that man values from that woman. And a lot of times it has not. Now, don't get me wrong. I know it's leeches out there. There's male leeches and there's female leeches. OK, we understand this. We're not saying that doesn't exist. But I'm talking about the men that are secure in who they are and very, very clear and very intentional about what they want. A lot of times, most of us, we're really simple. And sometimes that even pisses our counterparts off too, for sure, because we're so simple. Do you want to do this? I'm not tripping. Is it a yes or no? That could turn into an argument because you said no. That just means
you're not leading.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And even that statement right there, if you don't lead, or if you're not, if you don't have that energy of an alpha, then that makes you weaker. And in my experience in life, a lot of my friends, my brothers, people that I consider extended family, the quiet ones have always been the most dangerous ones. Just so y'all know that. Just in my circle. I can't speak for everybody else. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of the loud ones, by example I've seen or heard from my experiences, have been the less successful with getting their point across. That's the nicest way I could say what I really wanted to say. You understand what I'm saying? For sure. But there is a misunderstanding with the why we are doing certain things. I love that men are being more vocal in today's climate because it's setting an example for the men that are younger than them. There, at one point in time in our culture, the only examples that we had after a post-civil rights,
TV,
hip-hop, sitcoms, and I'm missing one more. Hip-hop, sitcoms, and black exploitation movies. So that
those were even bad because those kind of perpetuated a lot of like the male, some negativities of the minority people,
the minority in our group that operated like that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But that's the example that we had because, like I said, post civil rights, all of these leaders either went kind of like faded to black in the dark or were obviously removed from this earth. You understand what I'm saying?
I honestly, in my experience, my friends, I don't know any of my friends, bro, and I mean like close friends, people who I talk to consistently, who are not able to kind of express to each other. We talk to each other all the time on the phone, and I have several friends who will tell me and confide in me what they experience in their relationships. And they don't sugarcoat it. They don't try to like seem tough about it. They will tell me what they've been through, and they'll just be like, man, they're going through this and that. And it's not like they try to like, they're very open. A lot of my friends and family members, we cry. A lot of my friends and stuff will say, we tell each other I love you. Remember, I sent y'all one time a text. I was like, I just thought about it. I was like, man, let me send my partners a text. Like, just because the thought crossed my mind, man, I love y'all, bro.
I really think our generation as millennial, I think we're considered millennial wise. I'm trying to get that right.
Right.
We are one of those unique generations that are very comfortable with who we are and expressing to our loved ones, whether it's our extended families that are known as friends, or just even our male relatives. Hey man, I love you and I appreciate you. Because when, like I said, when you turn the clock back to the generations before us, it was so uncommon that it was uncomfortable if it was said, and then it would turn into, man, you ain't getting soft on me, is you? Or hey man, don't be don't do all of that soft, because they did not get that opportunity to be that clear. Because two things could be true at the same time. You could be very, very sensitive, and you could be somebody that nobody in the neighborhood should mess with. You understand? Or you could be very, very in tune with who you are and your emotions, but you can also knock somebody's head off if you ever needed to. And I think that because I didn't see that coming up too much. Like, my dad definitely showed me affection. My mom showed me affection, but like uncles, you know what I'm saying? Big cousins. You know what I'm saying? It was considered kind of soft. It was considered like, man, you can't be out here, you know. Even if you really didn't know how to fight that well, man, you're kind of a sucker. And what we're starting to understand is like the damage, because now that time has went on, a lot of these people that were perpetuating that tough guy act are having a hard time coping with being alone and dealing with trauma that they buried. And now that they're seeing that the world is different, that person that they've been able to be for so long isn't accepted in the way the world is now. Now that behavior is considered toxic, or, you know what I'm saying, misguided, and, you know.
Do you think that, and it's part of like our same conversation, but that what you just said kind of like made me think, like, obviously during the 80s there was a lot of life lost.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But you know, that's a 10-year transition from 80 to 89. I feel like a lot of the vulnerability that has been created with black men, specifically inner city black men, is due to the life loss that we've experienced. And I be thinking about this a lot, because so many of us have lost so many friends and family members, and understand that all of us are crying and sad, that it's like, shit, I ain't the only one. Because I think that part of the feeling of like, oh man, you ain't getting soft on me, is just like you feel like you the only one who cry. You don't know. Now that we know that this, and it's sad that a lot of us experience this too often, is that we are crying a lot. We hear about somebody passing away, and due to violent crimes a lot, we're oftentimes all crying and experiencing the same amount of sadness and vulnerability when it comes to these situations, so much so that now we're more comfortable being okay. Like, I got cousins and family members, like, when we get off the phone, we used to, like, as teenagers, be like, all right, bro, love you, cuz, be safe, bro.
That's common in my family as well. Yeah,
it's like saying be safe, I love you, bro, I love you, cuz, is however you say it. Like, even if you don't say I love you, is it's sad that it comes, it's a byproduct of that. But I think that might be what makes us more comfortable.
It's a reality check for us to make it more common to do it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like the way we use it, if we keep pouring that into our children and the younger generation, it's gonna mean something different for them when they do it versus us, because our generation kind of started out doing it as a place of fear, versus when we pour it into the next generation, it's going to come out as like, nah, this is mandatory. This is a reminder that we got to show each other that we value each other at the end of the day. And I think as time goes on, it'll weed out that stigma of being soft. right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, we have that, and then like I said, we also have our spaces where now we could talk about like, hey man, yeah man, things is rough at the house, because everything was considered like tough guy. When you listen to the music, if your girl was acting up, you just go mess with another one. If if your woman was being like this, in some instances in black exploitation films, men was putting hands on them. Now that we're at a place where in our culture, a lot of us is like, hey man, this girl is, well, what's going on? Well, have you looked at her like this? Well, yeah, I remember you told me that. Now you're talking about it, you're getting it out your system, and it's not coming off like, yeah, I don't want to sound soft when I say this, but we could just say it. And then now we're advising each other. You have a married friend, you got a single friend, you got a friend that's in a great relationship, blissful or whatever the case is, but now it's more of a conversation instead of like, well, I can't expose that I missed that girl that left, or I can't expose that I'm having problems in the house and I don't want it to escalate or whatever the case it is. Yeah, our conversations are different.
We know there's different makings of who you are. There's when you create a player on WrestleMania 2000, it took us how long to create that player, right?
Yeah.
So you got different attributes of who you are. It doesn't take away from you to have any of these so-called vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
That don't take away from your attributes, right? So we kind of understand that, like, oh, I know you're comfortable enough to tell me about whatever you're going through,
right?
And would like my insight on it. But I know who you are, and I know that don't make you any less of a man or any less of who you are because of this part of you being vulnerable. That is even more of a strength and a confidence,
right? So
I think our generation is much better at that than our parents most likely.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah, we're comfortable with a lot of conversations that they probably wouldn't even fathom to even have a conversation about it with anybody, right?
Yeah.
But also kind of connected to this conversation, I also wanted to ask the question of, like, with us as men, black men specifically, realizing how valuable we are to what we contribute in different parts of society and community, right, was our standards. Okay. Sometimes our standards can be misunderstood as soft or sassy, depending on who you talk to. If you're talking to some tough dude and you say, nah, I gotta have this like this, man, you overdoing it, or you extra, or you flashy, or whatever. And then when you're talking to women, I need my woman to do ABC, man, you sass. Almost like I see it a lot when there's a debatable conversation and men and women are going back and forth in the comment section. It turns into, or like when somebody does a video in response to something, I'll see it's giving sassy, or it's this. And what I find humorous about it is that I remember a time when women were complaining about men not opening up.
For sure.
Now we're at a point where men are being very detailed and specific about what they think, how they feel, and what's bothering them, and it's turned into sassy. Now, I do understand that I'm pretty clear on the age range of who's using that derogatory way of looking at things. Obviously, they keep living and they'll understand. But what do you think about that?
That's a good topic to bring up, because I think we talked about the 20 balloons thing last time.
Yeah, we did.
So I just saw an episode, or not even this episode, I saw a clip.
I think we've seen the same clip, but go ahead.
She was very pretty woman. I think she was kind of tall. I think she might have been.
Same clip.
She looked like she could have been like Eritrean or Ethiopian, like kind of.
Like just based off of her presentation?
And her.
Her features, yeah.
So, oh boy was wearing what? Now, so this is funny too, because your man blocked me on Instagram. Let's start there. West Side Gun. I'm still downloading the album, bro. I fuck with you. I was on some tipsy shit. I'm on West Side Guns.
Bro, did you get blocked by West Side Gun?
My nigga, that nigga blocked me on Instagram. So I'm just talking shit, just funny because fashion transitions. So
yeah,
there was this.
It's different from,
Mind you,
Yeah,
I'm a skinny guy.
right.
There was the skinny jean era. I was into the skinny jeans back when I was skating, when like late 90s, early 2000s.
I never wore tight clothes, dog. Not since I was able to pick my own clothes out.
But that was like because me and my boy, we like Haggard jeans. It was skate. We was like kind of into little punk rock shit. So skinny jeans became a fashion. Slim, skinny. Like, that's the only shit that they. At one point in time, they stopped selling bootcut, baggy, regular.
Yeah, it was hard to find that.
Relaxed fit.
Yeah.
It was skinny jeans.
Right.
So that became like the fashion trend. So, oh boy, he's wearing the slim, skinny jeans, I guess you would say. And she popped her balloon and she said she was passing on him because of the jeans. She liked her
I
jeans
had this conversation with a couple people. I'm glad you brought it up.
So
he asked her.
He responded well. He asked her about her family and her makeup. She had 3 kids, 3 different fathers.
And said that she didn't want to really disclose that. She wanted to lie about it. Remember, she said that too.
Now we're gonna give her first one. She said passed away.
Yeah.
But you got 2 more. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm at 2 right now. I'm not trying to roll the dice and make 3. But it's just interesting because the reason I bring that up is because in the fashion world now, black men, besides your man Dwayne Wade and the whole skirt purse thing.
Yeah.
Black men have become more comfortable in the fashion world and showing themselves dressing in different ways, right?
Yeah.
Skinny jean thing is kind of more of like the trendy thing.
Yeah.
It's becoming a thing of
punk
the past.
rock,
It's becoming
trendy.
a thing of the little past.
Yeah.
So when I told your man, your West Side Gun, he was stunting on Instagram like, yeah, man, my jewels, man. And he was in front of the Paris, what's that shit?
The Eiffel Tower.
And all I said was, I was like, damn, skinny jeans in 2024 is crazy. I'm Perkins, so he blocked me.
But that's not even that's not derogatory. It
just looked, I was like, damn, I ain't seen skinny jeans. Because I be on Instagram, and so my algorithm shows more fashion forward shit.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring that up is because the guy who was on the show, the 20 balloon things, when she said she was passing because of his jeans, it was like, you passing on his jeans when one, like, are you looking for somebody who dresses?
It's almost like you're looking like for arm candy.
Yeah, that can be changed. And you could maybe influence whatever with it when it comes to like dressing and fashion.
Most women can kind of persuade their man, like, man, you don't really look good in that. I'm like, man, I'm not changing my clothes. I'm just gonna put on some sweats.
Most men will wear something that if their girl likes something that we
try to keep doing it.
We'll do something.
We'll try to keep wearing something that they think that we know they like, or like, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't cut my beard in years because my wife like it.
Man,
you understand what I'm saying? So
my daughter's mom, I started growing my hair more because she was like, man, I thought I was, I had the waves going crazy.
Yeah.
So I like longer hair. I don't really like the waves. I was like, okay, let me start growing my hair out.
He's about to go to dress back. Don't know about dreaded po.
Yeah, I was about to start going crazy. But it's like most men will kind of like be,
because you want to keep her eye on you, so you'll do those things that you normally do that she likes, but
you'll step out your comfort zone.
But you know something,
but who you are and the attributes
has nothing to do with
your accomplishments,
wear or purchase.
She didn't ask him any of those questions. It was more like, man, you got on.
It was on site.
Skinny jeans.
It was on site because they say, some people say like first impressions. I remember first impressions is everything, right? Yeah. But now I'm starting to realize first impressions can be deceptions.
For sure.
Because I just in my experience in life, I've been in scenarios, especially like in high school or something, where I'll see a girl walk by who just looked like she didn't care today. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like she just got on some regular sweats, a sweater, whatever. And then like Thursday, I'm like, that's the same girl? Damn, she got like done up. Where's she going?
We all grew up in the era where the geeky, nerdy girl or the dude in the movies, usually the girl, somebody,
when they step out, it's over.
Save the Last Dance.
Yeah.
I mean, movies way before that. Molly Ringwald, all kind of different movies where it's like, that didn't make up the person. And usually women would be more like, they don't give a fuck how men usually like.
But see, in our culture though, what she exuded or what she exposed is a big issue that actually starts with young girls. So she kind of exposed her immaturity, because I remember, and I know you remember, growing up, if you went to, I don't even say a predominantly black, but if it was enough black folks in your school, girls really would not want to talk to you if you didn't have the latest fashion, even as young kids. And some of them mature and they grow out of it and they realize, man, that's all everything past the fashion is nothing to talk about, right? But some of them, they stay that way. Yeah,
in adulthood, it's very odd.
It don't even matter, man. You don't even get to wear the clothes. A lot of us don't even get to wear the clothes that we like, the shoes that we like on a regular basis because of a dress code. Some companies have uniforms, or some companies require you to wear suits, or, looking presentable because of the type of clientele that they have. So, and that's what makes it funny too, because the jobs where men can wear whatever they want, a lot of those women don't want those men, right? Whether you're a plumber, whether you're a barber, all those jobs where you don't have to wear a uniform and you can be as fly as you want to, as coordinated as you want to, they don't want them. But then if you do have a good job, but your fashion taste, which
a lot of men don't have the fashion sense.
A lot of financially successful men don't really know how to dress.
Yeah, most men don't really know.
I don't care what nobody says. Steve Harvey look crazy in them suits.
Not even know.
But he got a lot of money.
Not even know. But most men, in my opinion, don't really give a fuck.
We really don't. We actually, a lot of the stuff that we've done, we do it for impressing a woman. It's just a car.
Yes.
We want to make. There was a point where we wanted a car just to be able to say she gonna talk to me because I at least got a car, and most people don't. And then when you get a car, it's like, I gotta have a fly car because she want to step out and look good. A lot of this stuff, we inherited a lot of that competitive, flashy behavior from women when our job wasn't to be flat. Their job, I don't even want to say their job, but a part of who they are is to look good and beautiful and attractive and something that you just look at and admire from afar.
Right.
Our job is to be strong, do the dirty work. Don't take no, you know what I'm saying? And none of the things that are part of a man's job, none of it is pretty. Fixing stuff ain't pretty. Being tough and checking somebody in protection of your family isn't pretty.
Right.
It's not it can be attractive to that woman.
Ooh, we talking about protecting something,
You know what I mean?
It comes to another topic too, so,
You know what I mean? But just pointing that out, it's like that whole interaction, what I thought was crazy about it when she said, I just don't really like your pants and this, that, and the other. I was just like, okay, is this show just hiring people at this point to just say crazy stuff?
Right.
And when we talked about it last time, it made us look bad. You know what I'm saying? Culturally, even though most of the things that's being said on that show is culturally true. It's really people with those mindsets. So then a part of me is like, well, this really ain't scripted, because I've seen this time and time and again. Usually a lot of these women hit 40, mid 40s, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what, a person that work a little computer job ain't too bad, or because they've been chasing that bad boy mentality, that tough guy mentality, or that I'm a rich nigga mentality type of situation.
It was very odd, especially for that specific interaction, because she didn't seem like she was a woman in her 20s, probably early 30s. You have 3 children. Nothing wrong with having 3 children. You have 3 children.
Priorities should be way different.
What you're worried about is his pants. Did you say that? You didn't say he was an unattractive man. You didn't ask him about his aspect, like what is his goals in life,
aspirations.
What is his aspirations? What is
because you stopped it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta look out for my brother.
That was one of those. You know when a nigga get to, I forgot what word I was gonna say.
I was like, nah, I ain't gonna let my brother go out like that, man. I know what you meant. He meant this.
Yeah.
Just in case y'all thought he meant something else.
Good looking. Good looking. It's definitely his aspirations. Because I also it's his aspects. I'm like, what the fuck? But his aspirations, his goals, like, what does he do for work? You didn't ask any of those questions.
You didn't even give him a chance because you'd already popped the balloon. But you know what?
That should matter.
But for him, I thought that he wasted too much time even engaging with her at that point, because let me tell you, from my perspective, I look at it like this. The minute he said, oh, okay, well, how many kids do you have? When she said 3, even if it ain't even 3 even if it's 3 by the same man, the minute she said 3, he should have been like, okay, thank you, and then moved on. He shouldn't have asked her nothing else, because that showed me where her priorities is at. You got 3 babies at home and you on a dating show.
I think
priorities is not where they need to be.
With his and ain't
ego?
nothing wrong. I think he was dealing with his ego at that point in time, and there's nothing wrong to have his ego, because it was like, are you trying to talk about my pants? Like, what you saying about my pants?
Yeah.
Like, or maybe he's trying to figure, like, he was dealing with is she trying to say something about my pants? And then let me be a gentleman about it and ask her question, and then let me not like knock her down.
Yeah.
But that was kind of like a egotistical response.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, just leave it alone. Because I mean, him asking about kids and stuff like that, I felt like, okay, that's cool, but he should have just left it at that, because it's like, clearly this woman isn't mentally where she needs to be, because you shouldn't be on you shouldn't be on a dating show, you know. And that's what's going on. And I would say this to all the guys that go on this show, you're not going to be able to make every woman happy with how you are dressed, but I will say this: don't get so caught up in the fact that they won't give you a chance because of how you're dressed, because they just saved you. They just saved you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of frustration. Because if a woman can't give time to at least see what a person is about, they're only looking at the cover of the book. That should help you understand why a lot of these women are in the positions that they're in. When you see a woman like that has multiple kids by multiple men, she obviously didn't take the time with those guys to vet them. And say, you know what, let me see what you're about. Let me see if you're even father material before I decide to go any further on an intimate level. You understand what I'm saying? So right then and there, if a woman is not even going to give you the time of day because she don't like your hair, she don't like the way you look, all the things that if you said you didn't like them for, they would flip out on you about, take that as a gift and say, you know what, cool. Because just like the dude that showed up and he was looking crazy, he had the plaid and all that stuff on, and he was really into anime and all that, he found somebody. And that the one girl that he ended up walking out with, they both had a connection because they both like anime. So guess what? All of y'all women that curved this dude, now that woman that's walking out with that dude is already doing better than y'all. Y'all still there waiting to be served. You understand what I'm saying?
I should start more with, like, that's why I think that show, what was it, where they
Matchmaker
on different sides of the wall or whatever, you don't see this person.
And Live in Color messed that up for me.
Definitely did.
Because when Wanda came around the other side, I was like, nah, I would never want to be on the show, and that happened to me.
That's the bad part about it is, like, and for a lot of women, y'all got sweet ass voices, man.
Yeah.
A lot of y'all got not the phone voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the phone voice.
But the phone voice can be deceiving. It can be deceiving for women too, because you know Dookie gonna feel, yeah, what's going on, whatever, you know, how you doing, and then she meet him, and you know he only 85 pounds. You know what I'm saying? He sit on phone books when he drive. You know what I'm saying? So it is deceiving both ways. But I'm glad that era is over.
Cause
I'm glad that era is over.
Yeah, we gotta figure out how we gonna make these connections, because we gotta, like, maybe you see,
I think
which one is more important?
I'm gonna be real. I think that I don't know if the show already does it, but it doesn't look like they do. I think they need to get people that are like-minded. When you fill out your application and your paperwork as far as what you're looking for, then I think that should determine how your episodes go with who's gonna be there. If you really are serious about trying to be a matchmaker, but I do think that show, because it's predominantly black people, it does shine a light on the way we prioritize the wrong stuff. And what is, when I see shows or when I see conversations, especially in the YouTube space, about our men and our women, it's like trying to put magnets with the opposite sides together. You know, you take a magnet and you just can't put it together because the sides are opposite directions.
For sure.
And it's crazy, because at the end of the day, when if you take a room of 3 men and 3 women and they're going back and forth about who's at fault and who's wrong or right between black men and women, they're just going to argue, right? But if you individually talk to them, you'll find out that all 6 of those people want the exact same thing. But because they can't get past I'm right and you're wrong, and I have proof because I have 3 friends that went through it, or I went through it myself, because they can't get past those conversations, they would never even understand that they have a lot in common, or they want the exact same thing.
Get the dude who's geeky nerdy and get 10 of those geeky nerdy women.
Yes.
That are different, that they may have different looks or whatever, but they're all... it's a bunch of women that love playing video games nonstop. There's a bunch of women who are into
that like binge watching detective shows or whatever.
Nerdy
There's somebody for you.
Yeah, but don't put obviously your game is for numbers, not really matchmaking.
You getting a girl to listen to Sexy Red in the same room trying to vet a guy that loves going to watch the orchestra.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So the attributes should match more than the looks. Have different looks, but the attributes, match them up with like different attributes, and then see what happens. I think you could have a more successful show with that, even though they looking for the views.
And I think that in this culture, and when we talk about our values and dating, or just this conversation that's continually happening, there's 2 things that need to be understood. Well, the first thing is you need to understand your self-worth. Like, this is what I value about me. This is why I'm important. And then you also have to realize, and this is the value I bring, because what's important to you may not be the same as what value you bring to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's what got lost with a lot of guys podcasting or posting videos about what women bring to the table. That's been misunderstood, and you've seen Steve Harvey kind of make himself look like an idiot on Shannon Sharp's show with what a man can bring to the table or what a woman can bring to the table. Because at the end of the day, what you bring to the table is only important to depending on what table you sitting at.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't eat the same type of food.
Right. So that within itself needs to be a conversation. It is a good conversation. I do think more men should look at women and say, well, what does she bring to my life that's going to make my life more easier? Because we already pretty much know, whether a lot of men are doing it or not, we know what brings value to a woman's life. We know we got to work. We know we got to, bring home the bacon or some bacon. We know we got to protect. We know we need to be decent. We know all of this stuff, but we also know what to do to make their lives easier since young men, because we've been trying to impress girls since we were little kids. I remember 1st and 2nd grade, if there was a girl that I liked the was it the little, I don't know if they're little dandelions where you pull the flowers, she loves me, she loves me not, or whatever.
The ones you could pick the flowers off. Yeah.
Like if we knew at a young age, if there was a girl that you liked that liked those, you go give her those. Yeah. Look, I got these for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or you can cut me in line. Right. Or you can have my chocolate milk. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We learn as a very young age what we need to do to bring, that attention to a woman to show we got value.
For sure.
So I think that if men, first of all, you got to value yourself, and you got to say, yo, this is why I'm important to society. This is why I'm important to my family, my friends, and my job. And then you have to take some of those same attributes and say, and this is what value I could bring to the type of woman I want.
And also knowing what can you deal with.
Hell yeah.
Because you're not going to find a quote unquote perfect person
Yeah.
It's going to depend on what are you looking for, what makes you happy, and what are you able to deal with, because each person who may have these types of attributes that you're looking for may have these other attributes that you just may have not dealt with, or things that you're just like, that irks me, it bothers me, but I can get over that because this person is providing these different things.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Talking to people now that are in that space, and I see a lot of people say, "Oh, the dating pool got pee in it." And,
I see that.
And
I see that.
I don't believe that. I know I'm married. I know I've been married a while, and I've been in a relationship before marriage for a while. I just don't believe that, because the type of person that I've been for a very, very long time, even as a young man, like going to school, I've always went for somebody that I liked, not somebody that checked everybody else's boxes.
For sure.
And I definitely feel like and believe that in today's climate, there's a lot of different people that see the game differently. They feel like, I need to be with a person, or I need to deal with a person that has these requirements. And kind of like when you see women, I need somebody that makes X amount of dollars. Now, I'm gonna speak on this real quick, and then we can kind of shift to a different direction. This is advice for women. When you guys say that you are looking for a man that makes a certain amount of money, you don't realize how much you're exposing. You don't understand money. When you say that you want a guy that makes anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 annually, that is how much they gross. That is not how much they bring home after 401k, retirement, medical. You guys, let me tell you what y'all women need to be looking for, especially if you're a single mom. You need to find a man that has been working for a job for multiple years, that has health benefits, and that has a good reputation with attendance to work. Somebody that has good morals and values, and somebody that understands their role and the significance in their role. That has nothing to do with looks, what kind of car they drive, who they hang out with, all of that stuff. Those should be the standard requirements. The amount of money that a person makes a year does not define who they are, because here's some stats, or not even some stats, but just reputation from what I've read in financial books, because I do read financial books. A lot of these surgeons and people that gross a lot of money, they actually struggle financially.
Living expenses?
They don't manage their money well. A lot of these people that are making, and I say that with air quotes, a lot of money, don't manage it well. And so if something were to happen to that person or that person's career that you're depending on their salary with, you could be back to square one or in a worse predicament, because now you're married to them, or now, things go to hell. But I say that because I see that a lot online about how much a person makes. There's some people out there that only make $50K a year and got 40 in the bank because of how they manage their money, how they invest, and things of that nature. You feel me? So that's just my advice to the women, because I think they need to hear that, and I think they need to go do research. You need to go do research on careers. Oh, by the way, more successful careers are entrepreneurs, because a lot of women / sisters make fun of people that say they're an entrepreneur. A lot of them can bring a lot more success to your family legacy than all of these careers. So just do your research, look at the numbers, and hey, you'll see that I'm not lying to you. I'm trying to help you. You feel me?
I hear you.
We gotta address something, bro. So, and I sent you the clip because I was like, yo, we gotta talk about it.
That's a good transition.
Yeah. So There was a clip. I'm gonna try to add it to this episode of the video so our viewers can at least see what we're talking about, right? Sure. If you guys are listening on the audio, you need to go to the YouTube video to see what I'm talking about when I try to edit it in there. So these men were having a conversation on the show, and bruh said he would not die for his wife. Like, if they were in a situation where they're getting shot at and she fall, he gonna keep running.
He gonna keep running.
This is...
Get up!
Bruh, this is why it's this one guy that would be the representation of, see, black men and men, this is sassy and all, but this is one guy. But since it's just one guy who does not define the rest of us, I thought that was a crazy point of view.
I thought it was a crazy point of view, but what's crazy is, so me, innately, just in my character, who I am, I'm an overprotective person of my friends, family members, of anyone. So I
no doubt,
instinctually have always...
You want them out of harm's way.
I've always been that way. So I can't fathom not turning around and doing whatever despite what could potentially happen to me. But I had a conversation with my cousin some years ago, and we were talking about dying for our kids. And this is a cousin that's not like no slouch, no punk, none of that, right? Yeah. It's like, man, if a motherfucker got a gun to my head or gun to my, I'm not about to die for my kids.
Bro, what? You know somebody that went to the same school as this guy right here?
Nigga, you know this nigga. So I was... When how they explained it, I had to respect the way that they explained it. Especially you got more than one kid. When you got more than one kid, this changes the dynamic of the conversation. I could just never imagine not being protective of someone who I love in that scenario to turn around. I've never been in that type of situation to where gunshots were going off. But not turning... He said, I'm going to keep running.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the full clip to know, like, what was his further explanation of...
I don't really think I would want to know.
Is he going to say the kids is at home? Somebody got to get the kids.
Dog, listen to me. This is how I'm going to break this down. Because I'm going to break this down by scenario.
I'm going to keep running.
Wherever you are at. If you're in an environment where you could be potentially shot at, I'm holding you accountable to saving that woman, because you shouldn't took her there in the first place. But let's just say, because we live in a society where things can pop off anywhere, which we'll get to that later.
Woo. Shit, it could pop off anywhere.
It could pop off anywhere.
In the middle of
I think
Butler,
that the problem is with this dude, and what he's saying is he didn't say girlfriend. And even that could be controversial, right? He didn't say girlfriend. He didn't say some female that I just reconnected with. You said your wife. Let me tell you something, sir. Let me
do your part.
Well, that part, I didn't know you was gonna try to expedite it. You know what I'm saying? But when we take a woman from her father, because when you marry a woman, you are telling her father and her family that she is now 100% your responsibility. That's part of the job, is protecting her. So if you are saying you really don't get to choose who you die for, you get to choose who you try to protect, and in the midst of that, you might go down. But you don't get to choose who you die for, because at the end of the day, the only person you will ever truly die for is yourself.
So let me ask you this.
But
go ahead. Yeah,
protecting your woman, protecting your kids, I have a strong stance on that too, because those people in your family, your wife and your children, are the two most vulnerable people in your house, because your adversary knows that. Your adversary knows that's your soft spot. No matter how tough, how gangster you is, your adversary knows how to get your attention through them, right? But I would say this. If I'm in a situation where there's an ultimatum and they like, yo, either you or her, I'm not even going to trust that person is honorable enough to honor my decision. So I'm probably going to go out by trying to overthrow the situation.
That's the scenario of where I tell any woman that I'm associated with, even my son. And we'll get back to like the topic. Once they say, put these handcuffs on, or let me tie you up, or get in the trunk, you have to be willing to die to me. You're not helping yourself by, oh man, if I let them tie me up, they'll just let me live. So now you're tied up. Now you have even less of a chance of assisting or helping
protecting anybody.
Get in the trunk.
Right.
Okay, now I'm in the trunk.
Right.
So with those type of situations where it's like, all right, they're gonna try to shoot her. Well, now I have to die trying.
Yeah.
That's just the way
you gotta go 50 Cent on them.
I'm gonna die trying. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but I'm wondering, like, if his thought process was, well, bitch, we in this situation because you was talking shit. You was talking crazy to this nigga. Now he's shooting at us both. Maybe it's that. Maybe.
Yeah.
And she didn't protect him.
Yeah.
By not popping off at the mouth. Right?
Well,
because there's a certain responsibility that
to keep it G with you, I would try to avoid all controversy when I have vulnerable people with me at all costs. Right. And I have cousins that can vouch for that, because some years ago my cousins was finna get into it with some homies, and I turned into Day. I was like, I gotta stay here when y'all leave. But at the end of the day, the truth is, I really kept them out of it, because number one, like, you don't get sent to the principal's office when you get in a fight in public. You go to jail.
Yeah, for sure.
You understand what I'm saying? And we were celebrating my cousin's birthday. Shout out Jay Brown. And what ended up happening was it was something that was going to escalate. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I got love for y'all. For some of my homies that remember that night, my cousins with a dog jaw. So I was really doing y'all a favor, because I grew up with these cats, and they with it in a way that you won't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So I was really saving my friends by pulling my cousins back. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But that could have escalated, because even though these is my homies, I ain't seen these cats in a while. They might be the type of people that move a certain type of way, and now one of my family is hitting it. It could just escalate beyond. You know what I'm saying? So I come from a place of trying to diffuse a situation, because I remember the times where I have been in fights, and I've been in some very sticky scenarios. I'll never forget, like, how much anxiety I would have during and after, where, you know, your hands are shaking and you just like, man, did that just happen? Or like, I can't believe, you know what I'm saying? And it's been a long time since I felt that way. I don't want to go back to that when it comes to being in confrontations and fights and stuff like that.
Especially the older you get.
Yeah. So I understand, bruhs, like, I mean, I know we was talking about self-worth, but damn, dog,
no. He was trying to survive. he was trying to maintain that self-worth. Like, just thinking, like, if we're both running,
right?
I know first, I'm faster than her. I'm stronger than her.
Right.
And if she fall, you not looking back is crazy.
Right. That's wild.
Not looking back is crazy, and not turning to try to help her. He's shooting at us. Bitch, you better get your ass up.
I don't know, man. I
think he was going extreme with his thought process.
Yeah. Because that's a very organized scenario to be in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nine times out of 10, I'm going to guide my family to a safe scenario. If anything, I would probably be like, you do this, I'm going to run to create a diversion. Yeah. But it's like, it's both of y'all running.
We both running.
And she go down and you like, I don't hear no steps.
Like, for y'all to both be
they got their man.
Someone shooting at y'all. That's a movie. That's a movie.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
It's not happening, man.
Yeah,
but I just thought it was crazy, because it's like, nah, bro, like, you have to have a better mindset and have a better job at, like, protecting, you know, your family.
Because what if she pregnant?
Yeah.
You talking about?
Well, I'm gonna be real.
I'm gonna be real.
Some of these cats that be talking like that, like, oh well, like I'm gonna tell you like this. Some of these women got brothers, and the last thing you want, brothers and uncles and dangerous people. Let them cats find out you left their sister, their daughter, their niece somewhere. And I remember, who was it? Was it Will Smith? I think it was Will Smith doing an interview with somebody. and they was talking about dating his daughter, and he said, as long as you don't put your hands on her or ever leave her anywhere, we good.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was him saying it, but he was in the interview. I don't know if it was him saying it or somebody saying it to him, but I respect that a lot, because those two scenarios are very, very, very huge as far as in the safety of his daughter. You got a daughter. I got a daughter. You understand what I'm saying? We have plenty of our brothers that we close to that have daughters. And I'm just thinking, like, for somebody to say something like that, you must not, like, she must not have no men in her life for you to really think about what you're saying before you saying it. Because if somebody leave my daughter behind in a violent situation, they not gonna find them. Well, you understand what I'm saying?
You Lil Durk family, they get shit popping. when they came into the house, the wife let the shots off.
Yeah.
Then you just heard about his. I don't know if it's his son or his stepson. They keep saying it. So Lil Durk, what I think was his son, or it could be his stepson, and there's multiple kids in the scenario. Mom is getting physically handled by
tussling,
dude, right? 10-year-old shot his ass, popped him on camera. This is on camera. This is the video. The Ring camera shows the dude is being physical with the mom. The little boy got the gun. Somebody try to no. They go out. The movement go to a different part of the street, and bow, he shot his ass. So there are some people who just innately, like, I know as a kid, protection was great. Like, my mom didn't answer the phone at the beauty salon on MacArthur.
He told me this story.
East Oakland, bruh. MacArthur
what you do?
And Fruitville.
What you do?
My mom didn't answer the phone. The beauty salon didn't answer the phone. I didn't want nothing. It was just, how you call him, I'm like
this is abnormal. Somebody normally pick up the phone.
Salon,
somebody pick up the phone.
But I'm like, I don't know what I was calling for. They didn't answer the phone. She didn't answer her cell phone. I called several times. Nobody picked up.
Right.
It wasn't just the first call. Ain't nobody picking up.
Right.
I grabbed that bat. I walked down MacArthur.
Didn't it say protect black women on the bat?
I might have wrote that motherfucker in there. It might have been in that motherfucker. Grabbed that shit and walked right into the damn beauty salon. Who little boy is that? And my mom turned around with the chairs facing the back of the door.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, why y'all smiling and laughing? Why you ain't answering the phone? I believe at that time I had to be I think I was 10.
So you hopped on the bus?
No,
or did you walk?
This was a walk. This wasn't nothing but like, this was probably like 6-7 blocks, but I walked down there, and as I'm walking, I know the way you know how you hold a bat.
So you was holding a bat, and not like you was going to practice.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was like, I'm finna go to the park. It was like one of them niggas. I seen people looking at me like how I was holding the bat. Like, he holding that bat, like you holding the bat in the middle, like, yeah, now I'm about to go.
Yeah,
got me fucked up. Like that was the way I was holding the bat. So I know people was looking at this little boy, but that type of mindset, I think for some people, it's just instinctual.
Yeah, it's instinctual. Like I gotta protect.
Choosing who you are being protective of. You're gonna do it or not. It's not like a choice or a thought process that goes behind that for a lot of people. And for me, that's not a thought process, something I don't think about that. Like, what I'm going to do right. It's like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. I've had to hold back with how protective I could be. Whether it was my mom, especially like the wife. I be wanting to butt into a lot of even just conversations just to get an understanding of like, and I've had to say like something on social media like once or twice, and because that's not really my stilo, hey man, it was good, hey man, delete that, and I'm like, nah, that need to stay right there. I need, but I'm very protective over my household. I'm protective over the last name on the back of that jersey. You see what I'm saying? But because I'm protective and because I know how extreme I can go, I try to teach my people and my tribe how to protect themselves before they press that button for me to get involved. So that's my way of being protective now, is like, this is what you do. Like not that long ago, I was showing my son how to punch my hand. I was like, punch, punch, punch. Not because he needs to, you know what I'm saying, get ready to fight a whole bunch of toddlers.
But you just at least need to know how to throw a
I need you to know how to throw a punch. You know what I'm saying?
Whether it connect or not.
Whether connect or not. Just this is, you know, this is how you throw a punch. He might love to watch boxing. This is how you do what they do on TV. Everything doesn't have to resort to being violent. You know what I mean? But my goal now with my loved ones is to teach them where they can protect themselves. So what bruh man saying that I'm not even gonna look back, it's like, bro, you sound like the type of person that wouldn't even teach somebody to not fall in a situation because of how vital the scenario could be. Crazy. That was just a wild one. That's a wild one.
You're gonna outrun her.
And then not look back.
And you're not looking back.
That's wild.
Like, I'm gonna meet you down the street. Like, that's a crazy one. Yeah.
He the type of person, if she did fall and made it, they get in the car and he'd be like, yo, how you gonna fall?
That's crazy.
How you gonna fall? I remember before we switched gears, I remember
her ass fell, man. She be bullshitting.
Who was it? Tony Roberts. I was watching one of his stand-ups, and Tony Roberts was like, yeah, man, I had a bodyguard. He gonna get knocked out. I was like, bro, how you gonna get mad? I was like, how you gonna get mad?
That's how Rick Ross felt?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always a bigger fish, man.
Somebody got fired after that.
There's always a bigger fish. That's why you have bodyguards.
Yeah.
A bodyguard can be dealt with. I don't care how tough.
Plural.
Bodyguards, all right?
You never seen that shit happen to 50?
50 is his own bodyguard.
Yeah, but 50 is going... You see how he's throwing them chairs and shit at the restaurant, but 50...
Yo, why is he always in scenarios with chairs? Because I remember when he was beefing with the Supreme Team and Bangum Smurf, and remember the beef DVDs? And they showed up to his concert, and they threw a chair at him. This was like do-rag hat 50. They threw a chair at him, and he caught it.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what's this superpower 50 got with chairs, man?
That's a New York thing, because...
it must be a New York and Montgomery thing, because they crazy with chairs out there in Montgomery too.
Max B and them was throwing chairs at each other. French Montana, they was throwing chairs. Like
heavy WWE fans.
Yeah, a lot of WWE fans. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, you did bring up 50, and did you know? And you guys are gonna know what we're talking about, obviously, unless you're living under a rock.
45 cents.
So
45 cents.
You know, when 50 was performing at his show, this like just happened. He was performing at a show, and he had the "Get Rich or Die Trying" album art up with your boy Trump's face on his face because of what happened the other day with the attempt. I don't know. I don't know YouTube guidelines, so I gotta say the attempt.
That was yesterday.
What? That 50 did that?
No, the attempt was yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
So the meme that we all saw, that was prior to.
Yeah. No. The meme was post what happened with the attempt on Trump.
So, yeah.
So 50, that dude is a marketing genius. Listen. Now let me tell you. So for those that are trying to act like they didn't know, there was an attempt on former President Trump's life.
Nigga had one job, bruh.
And
that's what my mama and them said. Man, he had one motherfucking job, man.
Did you see the shooters? You see how he looked?
Slumped on the roof?
No, like I guess they got photos of him prior.
No, I haven't seen
prior to the end results of his actions.
I haven't seen pictures of the shooter.
Bruh, look crazy.
Like
the hills have eyes.
Ooh, one of them West Virginia type niggas.
Yeah, bro. Okay, so the crazy thing is, from what I read, because it happened right after I got off the phone with my mom, right? The text is hilarious because I got off the phone with her and then she called me right back and I was doing something, and then I got a text that said they tried to get Trump. And I was just like, man. And then she kept hitting me. And then so far I got on the phone with her. She told me what happened. And then I started seeing it all over social media. But because my mom came over yesterday too.
Oh, word.
Yeah, she came over to see the kids or whatever. And so she goes, she said that prior to it happening, people that were there at the rally was saying they seen somebody go into the woods.
Oh, I didn't hear about the people saying that they saw somebody go in the woods, but there was several.
Oh, and they said somebody was going up on the roof.
Pointed to the dude on the roof.
Yeah.
Pointed to the dude on the roof. He let off his shots. Now they saying that the teleprompter is what the shrapnel from the teleprompter is what hit his ear. I don't know what teleprompter is to the side of a person, but it could have been something else on. Whatever. His accuracy. Had Trump not turned like this, man, I feel like it was a bullet. It could have been glass. They said it was glass from the teleprompter. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like it was maybe a graze or.
Trump might be the most gangster, like.
Bro, you was saying this in the group, man. Like,
I'm gonna keep it honest. Dude he has the life story
of a rapper.
Of a rapper, bro. Of a gangster rapper, though.
Yeah.
My man extorting people.
I don't want to hear nobody complain about gangster rappers no more if you looking at this as a type of martyr situation. But go ahead.
That man is extorting people. He has several felonies. He's doing what he want. He's making threats to other people. And my man just survived the shot, got up, said, no, let me get my shoes on. I think when he went like this, I think he said, man, y'all got me fucked up.
You talking about when he threw the fist out there?
When he threw the fist up there, I said, oh, nah. I might change my vote, man. I might vote Republican this year, dog.
Look, dog.
I might.
I'm voting for me. I told my mom when this first happened and it was still fresh on social media, I said that just elevated him to another level. She was like, she's like, you think so? I said, no, this is going to intensify the support
for sure
that he's going to get, because he was already being treated as the underdog in the situation because he lost the election against Biden. Mm-hmm. But now, because when you're loyal to a party, when you're loyal to anything, and the thing that you're loyal to is getting challenged with crazy adversity, that just amplifies your support.
For sure.
People that were skeptical now want to support. Mm-hmm. And now the narrative can be spinned of, see, they're afraid that this person is going to get to this point, so they're trying to interrupt it. Because let's be real, as a culture, we do it a lot. You know, we do it when we want to protect our own, and we look at certain things where it's like, see, look, they had to change the rules in order for us to lose, or they changed the rules on us and we still won, because we've always had to fight most of our fights with our back against the wall, fighting uphill.
Shit, support went up for Pac after he got shot.
Yeah.
Support went up for 50 after he got shot.
Yeah. Absolutely. YG, the list goes on. You know what I mean? But what I want to make clear is, for any of these folks that is speaking on Trump, saying that, you know, kind of putting him to a martyr status because, you know, there was an attempt on his life, I don't want to hear nothing about any rapper that gets shot saying, well, they deserved it, or any of this stuff, or, you know, that's because they talk too much. Because, you know, we are students and fans of hip hop, and I've seen some of the craziest things being said about people that did not walk away from a gun battle, or, you know, somebody shooting them. I seen a lot of the disrespect on Nipsey, when, believe it or not, as many people that was celebrating Nipsey, I seen some wild stuff, because there was a video that came out on Nip when I feel like he was like near the slots, and he was near the hood. It was him and Lauren London, and somebody was like following him with the phone and stuff like that.
About the two, was it the camera people that he was gotten on? He told him, he said, they said, aren't you a rapper? He said, first of all, I'm a gangster. I'm a rolling 60 Crip.
Yeah. And he was trying to explain, like, you don't roll up on no gangster with that, because I don't know what your intentions are.
Right.
That's my that's my trauma, right? So when I looked at the comments was some of the most disrespectful comments. One of the things I hate about social media, it was like, oh, that's why he got shot, and that's why this happened, and see, ain't that guy passed away now? So it's like, okay, again, hypocrisy. you're gonna, something happened to somebody, you're gonna raise them up because they survived through it. If they didn't survive through it, it's like, well, see, that's what you get. That's why there's too many people thinking they know what God's job is. You feel me? And I just look at this situation with Trump and I was like, man, that probably won that man the election.
Oh, for sure, I believe it. For me, I have several different opinions about different aspects of this whole situation. Like, one, it is crazy to me that when people are saying that they almost wish that he really would have got killed. To me,
that's wild.
To me, regardless of whatever his
stance is,
I'm not gonna support his death.
I'm not celebrating nobody going down. I'm not celebrating nobody. I'm not that.
That's crazy.
Me being God fearing. I'm not that bold.
Yeah,
I'm not that bold to be like, yeah, see, that's what y'all. Yeah, listen, maybe some of y'all are not God fearing, but I'm cool. That's wild.
He's not a Hitler.
No, he's not.
He's not somebody who needs to be removed from living. Maybe we just don't agree with his viewpoints and his practices and things like that. But as far as I don't know of any murders or killings or anything that he's been a part of for me to say, he needs to be out of here.
Yeah.
Also, it's crazy to me when people said immediately, man, that was staged. And I'm like,
you gotta understand.
That's what y'all said about Suge too. Like, he sat in the car and said, hey, shoot that nigga up next to me and just make sure the bullets just graze me and just go by me. Just make sure the bullet don't hit me.
I think because we're in a time where the way things happen is so unexpected, but because we are also in a time where so many fake things look real. You know what I'm saying? Now we know now looking back, I'm sure some of those people are like, oh, this was kind of like the Chris Rock and Will Smith thing. So many people is like, man, that's staged. They both are actors. They're both entertainers. And then when you start slowing things down and you start looking at tones and facial expressions and things like that, and then you look at the aftermath of how things went, it's like, oh, that was very real. But I think that's a natural response when you're shot.
Started with September 11th.
Yeah.
When it started with, Building 7 and all those different type of conspiracy theories, to where now we just don't believe anything that happens. But also,
kind of like wrestling. We would say wrestling was fake. It was scripted.
Yeah.
The injuries was real.
Yeah, for sure.
The scenarios were scripted.
Well, a lot of people also were like, man, that don't sound like no gunshots. And I'm like, well, have you ever heard what a gunshot sounds like? Because it's there's a bullet breaking, going through a sound barrier. So he's not right up on the mic and area and shooting, and you hear the gun, or it's a couple.
Most of these people don't know what guns sound like being shot.
This is a bullet being shot from a certain distance,
to
where you hear the pop, and then you see, it takes a point in time for us not only to react. Our reaction time,
register what's going on,
but the bullet. Once you hear the pop, the bullet doesn't hit immediately. It's like a gap between how long that bullet was shot and then reaching
time of travel and then reaching the target. Yeah.
So you're not hearing the gunshot right up close. You're hearing pops because that's how it sounds from the bullet. And whatever the gun, how far it is from you. So when I heard it go pop, 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 because the person who told me about it.
Well, I thought that was
in the garden
response.
chilling, minding my business. Somebody said, "Man, they're trying to take out Don." I said, "Who? They trying to take Don?"
Bro, this sound like when battle rappers be talking about how the battle was initiated.
Yeah, man.
Smack called me. I was just chilling in the garden. They was like, "Yo, want to see me?" And I was like, "Yo, I'm just cooking in the garden."
Yeah.
I was just what it reminded me of when you said that. I was in the garden, man, and they told me they was trying to hit your boy TR.
Said, man, the DT, man, don't try. Yeah, so I believe everything that happened. I don't believe that, and they're saying that this individual was Republican.
What?
Yeah, they're not saying that this,
because
They're not saying.
When me and
that
my
this
mom
was
talked about it, my mom was like, "Man, yo, how long do you think they gonna think the Biden system?" I was like, "Yo, this is turning into a rap."
Look,
because there are. Listen,
if
there
Biden wanted this man dead, or Biden tried to kill him, y'all think that Biden is gonna? Do you know how many different ways they can get it done? They got what's her name, Princess Diana. Car accidents is one of the easiest ways they're gonna get it done. They're not gonna try to just shoot you at a rally or something. If
this
they
is
want
this
you
is
done,
old
they
school.
gonna get it done.
This is old school 1960s style.
Yeah, they gonna
you know
get that shit done if it's.
But you know that there's people that support Trump that probably do believe that Joe Biden is really Joe Budden and this is a rap beef. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, listen, if you guys can believe with all of the domestic attacks that's happened here on this soil, if y'all can believe all of those are real, right, then you got to understand that some people will go rogue, will be on some solo stuff. Now, the thing that is surprising to me is that if you're saying that this person was Republican that did that, that is wild to me.
That's what I've heard. It hasn't been confirmed, but what I'm thinking about is, okay, they say he was 20 years old.
Wow.
Right? He's 20 years old. Think about this.
Kid.
20 years old.
To us, he's a kid.
4 years ago was what? What year was it?
2020. Yeah, that is wild.
Think about what these kids have experienced and the world they've grown up into, to where
he was 20, so he was 16.
When they become like conscious and like really paying attention.
So being a radical, feeling like, yo, 4 years ago, you are so in that person's mind, it's like you did this to my livelihood 4 years ago, and now you could be in a position to affect it more 4 years later, and then you just go off the deep end.
And just what the world,
that is crazy.
We were experiencing in the world from 2020, 2021,
yeah.
January
January 6th.
Every year there's been some type of event that has been. The times that we're living in are
so this person is Gen Z.
Yeah. The times we're living in
That's
are like
wild.
almost unprecedented in how much we're dealing with year after year, the things that we're experiencing in America. And it's just, it's very crazy. One, this happened on live TV. Ronald Reagan, that happened on TV as well.
Was JFK as well?
JFK was recorded on, I don't know if it was on live TV, but it definitely was on TV. But just imagine if he really would have got smoked on TV, bro. Just imagine that.
I think it would have been very. If that would have happened, and by the way, I'm not a fan of both. I'm not a fan of Biden. I'm not a fan of Trump. Not that I owe anybody that explanation, but just so we don't get confused with any bias. Right. I think that if that would have happened, that would have been a very, very vulnerable moment for this country, for everybody that's just kind of waiting in the cuts to try to make a move.
They said
because of the disarray
and shit. I don't know if it would have started a civil war.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have been no Captain America civil
war.
Oh,
like who's gonna shoot who for what?
Yeah, but I do think that politics is very divisive. That's why they don't even allow it in the conversation in the job, as well as religion. But I think that would have sent a message, a clear message to other countries, like, they not the same. They already feel that way. They already feel that way about the United States, because just alone, like the arrogance of this country, people feel like the United States is North America. No, we're a country in North America. You know what I'm saying? So just that arrogance and that ego right there. But to see it take an L, that ego take an L, that's gonna have this country looking a certain type of way, to where it's like, oh we got him. So no matter how you feel about Biden, no matter how you feel about Trump, there are certain things you don't want happening to a former president, when there are a lot of people that's aiming a slingshot in this direction. You get what I'm saying? So
shit could get dark
real quick, like literally cyber style. You know what I'm saying? It could get dark, like for real. So to me. And it's crazy because just before this happened, I talked to my mom. I talked to my mom about a lot of this stuff. Earlier this week, I was telling her everything that we lived through. Mm-hmm. Like our generation, from in ninth grade when 9/11 happened, all the way until, you know, dealing with the anthrax scare, to dealing with the crisis in '08.
Hold on, let me hold you. Before that, our generation is the generation that has dealt with Columbine.
Yeah, Columbine was in sixth grade. We were in sixth grade when that happened.
No, Columbine.
I was in sixth grade. I remember my sixth grade teacher talking about it. I was in sixth grade. Yep. We were in sixth grade, brother.
I'm thinking we was in fifth grade, bro. You sure sixth?
Sixth grade. Because my sixth grade teacher.
What year was that?
Man,
I thought it was fifth
I ain't that
grade.
sharp. I ain't that sharp in the mind. It could have been fifth grade.
I think it was fifth grade.
Could have been fifth grade,
the
but
reason I think I put that in my mind is because me and my friends got in trouble for having it was like 6 of us had a gun at school. Fourth grade. One of my friends
a
brought
real gun.
My partner, he brought his stepdad gun to school. We
That's
all played
wow.
around with it, messed around with it, had the gun at school, and they gave us a slap on the wrist. We got suspended for like 2 weeks.
Damn, 2 weeks is a long time.
That's nigga, show up with a gun at school now.
Yeah, you in jail.
Nigga, you out of this, so you out of there.
You out of there.
So I think the next year it was 98. So it might have been like beginning of sixth grade.
I was in sixth grade in '98.
It might have been the beginning of sixth grade because
you just reminded me because my sixth grade class was the last class for that school before they cut it off at fifth grade.
Okay, so
it was '98.
I graduated elementary in fifth, so it might have been like the beginning of sixth grade, or maybe like the summer or some shit like that. Not couldn't have been the summer, but the beginning of sixth grade or something like that.
So we'll say '98.
Yeah, we'll say 98.
So 98
we
was.
lived through all these school shootings.
Yeah,
that's just part of our norm. Is shootings.
Yeah, that's awful. That's like common.
Especially just friends and family members and all that. Like that's a norm.
Yeah. So the uprising. Well, I don't say uprising, but the up in percentage of attacks in schools as far as the shootings, and then like you said, then it was 9/11, and then like I said, the anthrax scare, 2008 crisis, Iraq War, Afghanistan, and then pretty much the prime of our 30s, we hit a pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
We've lived through.
I think our elders need to rethink how soft they think we really are.
Yeah, like
with everything that we live through,
and maybe we got to rethink about how we think about these youngsters too.
Well, yeah, because some of these things they were really, really young to understand.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We've been there since the beginning of it.
But I would say like around that midway of when Obama was in office till now, they've still experienced a lot, because some of the things that we were aware of, we understood how that was affecting the economy when they really didn't have a want in the world, but their parents was probably going through hell. Right. You feel me?
Right.
So yeah, but you saying that younger generation, because this dude is a Gen Z, it kind of brought me to an interesting article that I seen about 46% of Gen Z depend on their parents for financial support.
That is a very
that is a large number.
That's a big
and I don't even say that as a dig at Gen Z. I just the thing that came to mind with me was, this is how bad things are. When you look at the fact that these are young adults, very young adults, still needing the financial support of their parents because the economy is crazy right now. And then you look at the fact that politics is the most ghetto topic that you could really talk about right now, between what's going on between the Democrats and the Republicans. Like, man, I did not see being an adult because when you think about being a grown-up when we were kids, you think about your 30s. I never thought about my 20s as being a grown-up, but I think about my 30s, and when I looked into the future, I never considered how different the world would be and how wild things would be. But to hear that Gen Z is having that hard of a time, it kind of makes me wonder, like, is that why some of y'all women want somebody that make 200 to 500K a year, because it's that bad financially? Because that's crazy numbers.
I want to see what the numbers are for Gen X.
Like, what do you mean? Like how? Like if they're dependent on their parents?
Yeah, I mean, well, my personal experience, I've had to be kind of dependent on My mom for several years, just not because I didn't make. I mean, there was times where I didn't make enough, but just the situations where I was in, it was like I might have had a good income, but my expenses were just crazy to where I needed support, and it was
40 hours isn't enough to feed your family or yourself anymore, man.
hell no. Especially once you get to a certain income bracket, maybe you don't qualify for a lot of things.
I believe the reason why a lot of us, whether it's our generation and older or even a little bit younger, is getting into entrepreneurship is because they can't control their income. Their income is literally regulated by a job that is requiring you to do more than what they're paying you to do. You see what I'm saying? And so what it is said is like, well, man, if I gotta ask you what days I could be off, and I gotta wait for you to tell me how much money I deserve more every year, I might as well bet on myself. You see what I'm saying? But it's kind of a saddening thing to see, like, yo, Gen Z really is dependent on their parents. And I'm gonna be honest, Gen X
is big.
Gen X is probably just now touching some bread.
Just now, yep.
Just now touching some bread.
I just told you at the beginning of the podcast what financially I've been doing quite well the last couple of months.
That's true. And Gen X is clearly in those late 40s to early 50s. You see what I'm saying? And that is even statistically, as men, especially black men, but as men, we don't see the prime of our financial income until about 40 something, 50 something years old. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense. It's like, oh, now I got enough money to really, okay, you know what, my son needs a down payment for a car. I'm gonna just slide on that 5 Benz. Or my daughter, she needs somewhere to stay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get her an apartment, things of that.
That brings up, because I really do be confused when I see it. And maybe it's because people got credit cards or some shit, man.
Oh yeah,
it's be a lot of people out here doing these vacations, man, and I'll be like, God damn, like, how y'all doing that shit? Like, man, I know a plane ticket costs this much, I know the hotel stay costs this much, and
if you go to another country, you got to get that passport. That passport ain't the cheapest
y'all
thing.
Money management is just good, or there's passport bros, maybe. Passport bros are supporting it, but like, I see a lot of vacations, and I kind of like think back, like, damn, am I not doing enough?
Nah, I used to go back and forth with that thought too. But this is what I learned, and I learned this actually when we were looking to buy a house before we bought our house. Right, my realtor said, if you ever notice when you see a young person with a really, really, really nice car, a lot of times they live at home. And I was like, what? And at the time, I started thinking about scenarios where I had certain peers that had, like, we're not talking like a nice car because it looked good and it's kept in good condition. I'm talking about cars that's the new 40 shit. Bands and up, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, man, I know where you work.
Right.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's just like when I see certain influencers or I see certain people, it's definitely that. And because what a lot of these really beautiful women, and it ain't just the women that's doing it, so let me say that it's men too. A lot of these beautiful women, you see them on trips, and I'm like, damn, they in Thailand, and but either they are living at home or they have roommates.
Yeah.
Now listen, hey, get it how you live. For sure. Get your traveling. You being well traveled will change your perspective on your entitlement and ego and all of that. So by all means, but at the end of the day, when you looking at people that's taking care of business every single day, and it's like, man, what the hell is going on? Like, because that's the thing that I see with the dating concept, right? The dating shows. I need somebody that's gonna travel, somebody that's well traveled and travel. And I'm like, when you look at our parents, they was like, they need to have a job. I'm trying to get this house, but the priorities are different, and your priorities are different because you're allowed to have different priorities. When you don't have access to be able to change your priorities whenever you want, your priorities are groceries, taking care of the bills, paying rent or mortgage. I gotta go to work. I can't take that day off. I gotta save my vacation time because the family reunion coming up. But when you don't have all of those things, because you have a buffer there, you have 3 roommates splitting the rent, or you live down the hall from your parents and they only want $600 from you every month.
Oh, it could be this too, and it not could be this. It's part of this. I tend to forget. I am an anomaly sometimes because I have 2 kids. I share one with the one mother as far as like how often they're there, but I be like, oh yeah, I'm full time. 25/8, and these vacations I see y'all on, sometimes the kids ain't there, so you got somebody who they might be over there at this time at the weekend, whatever, whoever they're with. But I just don't feel like I can take vacations and be like, my kids ain't there. Like my thought about expenses when it comes to vacations, like, okay, I could take a vacation, go there, but when I think about the cost, it's like it's not just gonna be me. So I think there's different aspects that go into that, but it's like it's been interesting. I've had to like make myself feel like, oh yeah, man, you doing what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah,
for sure. Because when you spin it the other way around, like you have a home to go to, and you have a daily escape. Because I feel like some people that are taking these trips, but they don't have the things that we have. It's an escape for them from reality, whatever stuff they got to deal with, whatever work and stuff like that. But what I like that you brought up when you said, a lot of y'all taking trips, the stats ain't matching what's on social media. On social media, everybody's taking trips, everybody's in the gym 24/7, all of that stuff. But the stats are saying that, man, I still need my parents. And I'm gonna be honest, shout out to y'all that y'all even have parents to depend on, because baby boomers, a lot of them didn't have parents to depend on. Gen X didn't have a lot. They couldn't depend on a lot of their parents because a lot of them had children young when their parents were still working and weren't retired. And then here we come, siblings of Gen X, where it's like, they kind of close to retirement, but hey, man, Harold, you got to get out there and you got to get it how you live. Darren, you got to get out there and get it how you live. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and shout out to the people who may have parents or don't have parents and are able and have the ability and know that they don't have nobody to fall on and rely on. Yeah. Like some of us who do have parents, and I can say I know a lot of my experience has been like, there's a shame that comes with having to get assistance, but sometimes you kind of just fall into a point of like, oh, well, I know somebody's gonna help me, and you kind of like forget like, oh no, I gotta eat what I kill, and the shame sometimes comes with like an expectation. Sometimes there's a shame, there's an expectation. So shout out to the people who don't have parents or do have parents, just not financially getting support from them, because those of us who do have parents, sometimes we forget that, or we lose sight of taking care of these things ourselves, and things become a norm. Yeah, so for sure. That was kind of like my experience a little bit, where it's like it was a norm, but it's not. It was a shame involved in that, because our parents may not also understand, because some of our parents are homeowners. Yeah, and they don't necessarily understand the filth that's out here right now. Oh no, they locked into their mortgage, right? And they don't understand what's going on out here right now. They don't have a full scope.
It's harder. Okay, so we've been in our house. We've been in our house going on 7 years. We literally got our house before we made a year being married, right? It is not harder, but probably 5 times harder to buy a house now than 7 years ago. Even I remember the thing was, yeah, man, you get your first house, that's your little throwaway, whatever, and then you build up your equity. Now it ain't this way across the board, but income is that way across the board. But in California, you can have a nice amount of equity in your home to where when you sell it, you got a nice little profit, and it might scratch the surface for a down payment for the house that you feel you deserve or think that you should be raising a family out of. Now, the thing is that a lot of people don't understand is like, well, what's the point of buying a house, or how is it worth it? Because equity will continue to go up. The value is called appreciation. The appreciation.
I appreciate it.
It'll continue to go up in value as you pay it off. So at some point, when you pay your home off, you'll just be paying the taxes, and the value will still be going up and up and up and up and up, because you got to think houses that were built in, let's say 1940s, 1950, which are still obviously up and renovated, those homes probably went for like maybe $10,000, $20,000. What are they going for now? 300, 400, 500,000. So where are those houses going to be in the next 5 years? Pretty much on $1 million. You see what I'm saying? So getting in something and then building equity and things, that's important, but just being able to get into it is so much of a challenge now, because jobs ain't paying what people need. You know what I'm saying? Bills, everything is expensive. So right now is not the time to be pointing at who's broke, because to my knowledge, unless you are a millionaire, you are feeling some broke moments. Even if you got a lot of money in the bank, you are being conscious about what you, all of a sudden, you don't want to buy that many steaks. All of a sudden, you know what, I
can make this at home.
Yeah, I could do this. Yeah, we don't have to go out to eat. Bad Boy's getting ready to stream, ain't it?
Yep.
No, I'll just wait for it to come out on the stream thing, so I ain't got to pay for tick. Like, bruh.
Yep.
You ain't spending nothing less than $50 going to the movies. Yep. For your tickets, your popcorn, and dude. So nobody should be really clowning anybody on a financial level, but seeing that number where it said 46% of Gen Z got to depend on parents, that's not because they failed. No. Some parents probably didn't teach their kids financial literacy or responsibility, but this is about the economy, the state of where we are at, the sign of these times. So that hopefully that marinates on people. Hopefully people go do the research on that and try to make adjustments, because it's hard for everyone. Young and old, it is difficult. So
that's why the name Apartment Poe is still we wait. It's gonna happen. I'm going to have to downgrade because I'm renting, and my rent is.
They're trying to get wild on you.
I mean, each year it goes up. Like rent goes up each year, but my rent is lots.
Here's a good point. The fact that California had to visit the conversation of rent control. Yeah. And I don't think California is the only place that has had to visit this conversation, but that should let you know within itself how hard it is for people, because now they got to go back and say, all right, hold on, y'all doing way too much on the rent thing, man.
Well, now I know, the law passed to where the deposit for rent and like renting a home or an apartment cannot be more than what the actual first month or 1 month of rent would be.
Shouldn't be. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it could be double that.
You know why I think they do that?
It used to be like it could be the first and last month's rent combined as the deposit.
You know why I think? I mean, that was some people were taking advantage of that, but I'm gonna tell you why I think they did that and why that could be controversial later on. Because what would happen is renters would do so much damage to the home. So if they already got that deposit, that's probably going to go towards the repairs if they didn't spend it.
Yeah, for sure.
But for the people that, hey, listen, man, my credit report has been great. My rental history has been amazing. There should have been, because that should have only really applied for people that you're taking a gamble on. But for people that have at least a okay or better rental history, credit history, why are you slamming them with 2-3 months of rent? Where it's like, come on, man. They just trying to find a way. You know what I'm saying? But there has been some, because I know 1 or 2 people with some horror stories behind renting. Where it's like, yeah, man, I rented out. And I felt bad because of their story, and they did me like this, and it's gonna cost me 10, 15 bands to repair. So I'm gonna just sell the property because that's gonna be money I lost. But I remember how me and my wife got into scenarios like, man, forget it. We just go buy a house, is because of all of the hoops you had to jump through to rent. Because we were trying to get out of the apartment in at least like a condo situation or something, and they got you jumping through hoops. I mean, it's even it's kind of a scam when they have the little open houses and they make you pay for the $30 application fee. Well, shit, if you get 20 people to pay $30 for an application fee and you don't even run all of their credit, you got their $30 and you only gonna run credit to the person you really want to rent to, and so you just collecting money just off of somebody wanting to rent and never run their credit, because legally when somebody run your credit, they're supposed to give you a copy of it.
Yep.
So why my credit ain't ran and now you got my money?
I mean,
it's
bro,
little funky games like that. So I get why they got to create laws.
Right now, your rent for an apartment for 3 bedrooms
is a mortgage, or higher.
Same cost,
or higher. I know people that pay. I know people that pay more for rent than we pay for mortgage, bro.
And
it's
I'm saying,
insane.
like, an apartment rent for 3 bedroom and a house renting for 3 bedrooms
are the same price.
Same price.
That's crazy.
You might have to include another extra 150, 200 maybe for like water, sewage.
Yeah, like utilities and things of that nature. Yeah.
But it's the same.
Insane.
It's the same.
Insane, dog.
So that's where we at, man.
Yeah, man. The way of the world is crazy. And we gonna have to get out of here, you know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna run out of tape, even though we ain't got no tape. It's digital.
Yeah.
But yo, let us know what you guys think, man. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna slide out. Let us know what you think. We said a lot. We covered a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? You know where to find us. We welcome all the conversation. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You know where to find us. So just let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? And y'all stay safe out there, because they wild at these rallies and everywhere else.
Crazy, man.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways, you've been tuning into the Notion Podcast. This is your boy Dizzy D Spill with my host as always.
Farmer Poe.
Yeah, you was supposed to say the new name, man. You was supposed to say.
I'm establishing some Farmer Poe, and then that's what they used to.
Anyways, until next time, peace.